Bible's reliability. The film equips believers to confidently base their lives on the power of God's Word. It's available at streaming.afa.net. Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildman, President of the American Family Association.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Today's Issues. That's the name of this show here on the American Family Radio Network. For this Monday, January the 8th, we thank you for listening to AFR. Joining me is Ed Battagliano. Good morning, Ed.
Hey, good morning, Tim.
And good morning, Fred Jackson.
Hey, how you doing, Tim?
Doing well, fellas, and hope you had a nice weekend. Hope everybody listening had a nice weekend. And by the way, the college football national championship is tonight. You know that?
I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Hockey got the Bruins playing
well,
tonight.
It's a double header. My granddaughter's playing volleyball.
Okay.
And then the Bruins play, but I want to watch the championship game. I just lost track. It's the 8th. I knew it was the 8th. And just lost track.
It's the University of Michigan versus the University of Washington. I think it's University of Washington.
It is?
Washington University. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Well, this is an
you know
unusual
what, guys?
matchup for the championship.
I think the end of the world is near. You want me to tell you why?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at chapter 7 of the book of Revelation, it talks about the year when the SEC wouldn't win the national championship in college football.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Right after the 12,000 from each tribe of Israel.
Yeah. It is odd because, and I know the rest of the country is glad.
Yeah.
But it is odd when the Southeastern Conference doesn't have at least a participant in the national championship game. But Michigan beat Alabama, thus ending the SEC's opportunity. And then Washington beat Texas. So anyway, it's going to be a fun for those who like college football. Should be a fun football game. All right, but Fred, meanwhile, speaking of
The end of the world.
Well, that too, but speaking of hockey, which is passionate in Canada, Canada's getting ready to bless America again, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, we're going to blame the Russians.
Oh, okay. We're talking about the weather.
The weather.
It's about to be.
I thought you were talking about the World Junior Championships where Canada got knocked out.
Yes.
And the U.S. won.
Yes.
The World Junior Championship.
Let me see. What excuse can I come up with?
That wasn't on my radar. Sorry, fellas. But it is. The weather is about to be a big story, right?
Listen,
Fred?
you mentioned the fact that
Right.
the SEC doesn't have a team in the championship. The Middle East could go up in flames, and a polar vortex. That just sounds like it's apocalyptic.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I have lived through minus 50 Fahrenheit temperatures when I lived in New Brunswick, Canada.
Yeah.
That is very cold.
Oh,
Let me
man.
put it mildly. It is very, very cold. I mean, we're talking about if your car is sitting for any amount of time, the tires get flat on the bottom.
Yeah.
So when you're driving down the road, it's clunk, 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 clunk.
Yeah.
You need to warm up your car for about 30 minutes if it starts.
If it starts. Does the engine freeze at minus 50, the engine block? I mean,
When I lived in Saskatchewan, Canada, I had to have my car towed about 3 times to a garage to get it thawed out.
because some people have like engine warmers
Yes.
that keep it so that it will crank.
And sometimes those aren't enough either.
Wow.
Yeah, block heaters, they call
I'm
them.
just going to say, I grew up in New England. I don't ever remember 50 below.
No, but that's what's headed to the northern tier of the United States. We are talking temperatures of minus 50 Fahrenheit in some places across the West and Midwest. And then if you live in the lower half of the country, we're talking about our home base here in Mississippi, we're now facing the threats of tornadoes because starting tomorrow, they're saying at least winds of up to 50 miles per hour and possible tornadoes. So this is going to be a difficult week. But going back to the colder temperatures, you remember back a few years ago when those cold temperatures got down into Texas.
You're right.
The electronic grid could not take all the furnaces going, the electronic heaters going, all that sort of thing, and a lot of people lost power. So the country is bracing for some very bad weather for several days this week.
What now? What I saw was that the this polar vortex, is that what you call it?
Right.
Correct.
Is as far as the U.S. goes, is going to come down through the to the northern, I guess you could say northwestern part of the U.S.
That's correct.
And sweep down
Yes.
Montana and I don't know what, even so that will go all the way over to what, Chicago and that area.
Yes, and then up into northern Maine eventually, those New Hampshire,
We're
Vermont.
talking. All right, Ed. Google weather for I don't know, Missoula, Montana.
Missoula. Okay.
Yep.
Just type. I don't know how you spell Missoula, quite frankly, but any town.
MISSOULA.
Yeah.
All right, so you want Missoula, Montana weather.
Yeah, just type that in. Yeah, Missoula, Montana. If I'm going there for
Okay,
for
here's
a
the Weather
hiking,
Channel.
for a hiking trip.
Here's the 10-day weather forecast.
All right.
Okay. All right. So if you're going to go hiking,
Yeah.
you'd best get it done before Thursday because the low will be only -3. Friday -12.
This is straight up.
This is the low now. The high
Right.
for Friday in Missoula. Is it Missoula or Missoula?
Missoula.
I think it's Missoula.
All right, the high on Friday for Missoula, Montana, 2 degrees, folks. 2.
Wow.
Yep.